Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. I'm headed out to Ted. I had an uncle named Ted. I wonder if they named Ted after him. There was a lot of dew this morning. It went down into the 50s last night. This morning I'm tedding with my 1953 Farmall Super C and my Kuhn 4-star or 4-basket tedder. And my hat. Well, let's see. I'm on about half throttle. It's a nice thing about a fast hitch, instead of cranking on the tedder, I can just lower it till I get it about where I want it and fine adjust it while I'm moving. Third gear. Down a little bit. The Super C says, give me more throttle, especially on this little hill, but I want to keep it slow so the tedder's not as violent on the grass. Tedding is pretty relaxing. You're not working the equipment hard. You're just kind of putt-putting along. It's nice, cool in the morning. I always do it in the morning first thing. Yep, relaxing. Here's the deal. I was really on the fence about tedding this. In fact, if it hadn't rained yesterday, we got a 1/4-inch thunderstorm in mid-afternoon. I wouldn't have tedded at all. I would have just let it dry and probably raked it this afternoon, baled it this afternoon too, or maybe tomorrow. And what the rain does, especially a hard thunderstorm, is it drives the grass down and mats it, and then you don't get air underneath, so this just sits. And having clover and alfalfa in it makes it worse because they're the last things to dry after the grass. I hear of people that say, what's a tedder? We never use those. We just rake it, or maybe rake it twice. Around here, anybody that makes any sizable amount of hay teds it. And one key indicator that you're doing a good job tedding and you're doing it at the right time is this. This is clover, and clover, you'll lose clover leaves before anything. Well, this has gone through the tedder already, and all the leaves are still attached. Clover turns black when it gets any amount of moisture while it's drying. Even dew will do that. It makes it look horrible, but it is still very nutritious, even though it's got that color. So with tedding, I think it's all about doing it at the right time. If I were tedding it the day, the morning I baled it, it'd probably be too dry. But when you've got some flexibility in the leaves, you don't get shattered. You don't get a lot of loss. All right, I gotta put my hat back on. So the key is, a low RPM so the PTO doesn't spin as fast. Ground speed doesn't matter that much, just as long as, you look and you're picking everything up. Could cover 2 passes that I did with the mower conditioner at once with the tedder, so it goes pretty fast. Normally my routine is to ted the morning after I cut while it's still in the wilt phase to get it up and get air through it and mix it around. Haymaking's kind of an art, depending on the weather, and the weather's always different, and this is the way it worked out this time. It's a little bit drier than usual because of the timing of that thunderstorm yesterday. I guess the other thing you worry about is if the hay gets rained on, thunderstormed, that bottom area is going to mold up a little bit. And the last thing you want is moldy smelling hay. This hay's so late, I don't want to do anything else that might make it lesser quality. That was a big clump. Put. This is the hydraulic fluid temperature gauge. It won't get up into the run zone here unless you're kind of working in hot weather all day. It stays pretty cool. Temperature gauge is down here for the coolant. And just like the H, this Super C, it's so easy to drive. With a narrow front, it steers so easy, it turns on a dime, putt-putts right along. I love it. And it sips fuel even less than the H uses. H work all day on 10 gallons of gas. This probably 5, 7, something like that. All those little black heads you see sticking up, those are clover blooms still on. This is ground already tedded. Alfalfa. Alfalfa from the bottom, sopping wet with water still on it. And the alfalfa that ran through the tedder. That's what you want, leaves. Big heap of it here. This corner's too sharp to turn it that way, so I have to loop it. But this corner I can turn. 90s you can turn all right. Just this triangle left, and the swallows have come to join me. They are awesome. All that brown stuff you see is orchard grass that was dead when I mowed it. It helps to tent everything up. It provides a tent pole? I don't know. It really fluffed it up, and I'm done with this field. On to the next. Cows are munching. And after I get done doing hay, I gotta start clipping fields one by one, taking them out of rotation. Ginger and her calf. We have 6 calves now, all that were due this year, and I haven't had time to show them to you because I came back from Missouri and started making hay, but I'll have to do that soon. Onto the chicken field, the really junky one. And after I finish hay, I gotta sickle bar mow under all the fences. The work never ends. Nope. Well, that helped flatten out the trench a little bit more. In case anybody's wondering, this outflow, my detention swale, is dry. It is junky stuff. That's burdock. Yeah. I'll show you. This is a chicken field, and remember in the last video I said the chickens tear it up. They dig. And so weeds have taken hold in here. It's one of the reasons I clip every field at least once a year, is because you want to keep the weeds from coming up. But when they leave bare spots, that's an opportune time for burdock to grow. And what normally happens is I hay this field early enough where the burdock hasn't gotten very tall and the orchard grass is tall and there's not a lot of weeds in it. This time around, because it's so late, I'm going to wind up making this into bedding hay, and there is some good stuff mixed into it, so when we put it down for bedding in the winter for the cattle, they tend to eat the good stuff and they'll leave the bad stuff, so it works out perfectly. This section that you see over here that looks better, I mowed early in the year to put the chickens on. If I'd known what the weather would be like, I probably would have mowed the whole thing. Hindsight is 20/20. This field, unlike the last field, it has a lot more dead orchard grass in it, stalky, that went to seed. So it looks like it's really dry, and I would never ted hay this dry if it weren't just junk bedding. Yeah, well, such is life. I'll be done in a few minutes. I guess I could just squint my eyes and make believe that it's straw. Yeah, I've got some good bedding straw here. Yep. That's it, that's all. Tomorrow after the dew burns off, I'll rake this up, bale it, and we'll be done with this batch. Please join me for that. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.